How you doing, Ivan?
Just peachy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a problem with that?
Nope, no problem.
Because we could have words if you want.
I have no problem. You can be as peachy as you want. And how are you doing, Phil? What fruit are you?
I'm a banana.
I am a banana.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Do we know if Keith's going to be around?
I don't know. I haven't heard from Keith for 2 weeks.
And is he on Steam?
I don't know. I'm not on Steam.
I'm
Let
looking.
me check.
I'm looking. I don't see him. Oh, no, there he is. No, he's in Civilization. How do you text this thing? Let's see. Where's the chat window? Send message. Coming to do show. And let's see if he's coming.
That's what she said at the picnic.
Good one.
What is with the whose smoke alarm needs a new battery?
It's my girlfriend's parents' house's smoke alarm in the upstairs, one of the wings of the house.
One of the wings.
They might want to put out the fire or the smoke.
Well, I'm recording the show this week in their movie room, their movie theater room.
Excellent.
It's got better acoustics than her office. Oh, there's Keith. Yes, wasn't paying attention to time. Okay. And let's invite to conference.
Hey.
Howdy.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Just me, though. I'm not plural.
Yeah, but konnichiwa, bitch doesn't sound as good.
What's up, Keith? How you doing?
All right, man. How you guys doing?
Not bad.
Peachy.
Peachy, yep. Ivan's peachy, Phil's a banana, and I'm just fine.
Phil's a banana?
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of like a...
Yeah.
Yep.
With lots of potassium.
You're a potassium-filled... Well, you're not really... You're just like it.
Phallically shaped.
Oh, my Blood Bowl team's 3-0. I played Cypher today and won.
That's not surprising, Keith.
Why is it not surprising?
You've played Blood Bowl probably longer than most of those people, except for maybe Chris.
Yeah, the only problem is Chaos, it's hard to actually win with in the beginning because they have no skills.
Still, experience trumps skills.
Sometimes. This time it has been. This is the first time I've ever actually won 3 games out of the gate as Chaos.
Okay, before we get on to things, let's put a proper beginning on the show. Welcome to the Video Game Show, episode 234. I'm Chad, and joining me this week is Keith.
Hello!
Ivan.
Hello.
And the Banana Phil.
Hello.
The banana.
I'm bananas.
By the way, never travel for 3 days in a row. It sucks.
Well, it depends where you travel. Like, if you're traveling across one end of a giant harem to the other end of a giant harem, that could be a good 3 days worth of travel.
So, we got to the Thailand airport at 2 or so on Tuesday to catch our flight. Got our flight, got to Hong Kong. Waited in the Hong Kong airport for a day. Got in at 10, had to leave next day at 7 in the afternoon at night. Then landed in Vancouver at 2 in the afternoon and had a flight the next day at 8 in the mornings and stayed in the Vancouver airport all night. So, now I'm back.
Huh.
So you just were basically driving, flying, and that's about it.
It was just airports. I was just in airports for 2 days.
Oh.
Laying in airports, resting, sleeping in airports. It's fun. You should try it one day.
Foreign airports.
Foreign airports, yes.
I'm not a huge fan of sleeping in airports. Just saying. Unless I got someone to stand guard.
I was going to... That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like going on an adventure or something. Like
Adventure!
Well, you're being chased by zombies or something. Someone's always got to be awake. Someone's always got to stand guard.
Because as soon as you don't have the guard, you get the random encounter.
Exactly.
When you have the guard, you don't have the random encounter. So you got to sleep in shifts so you don't get pickpocketed by some little panhandling Asian guy in Taiwan's airport.
Or a Canadian.
They grease your pockets with Canadian bacon, and then your wallet slides out quickly and easily.
Well, for most of it, I was the guard. My girlfriend was sleeping, I was awake. So I didn't sleep for 3 days.
Probably a good idea.
I slept on the plane, which isn't fun.
Well, the plane is okay to sleep on.
On.
I would not recommend trying to sleep on a plane.
No, I sleep on planes all the time. A couple bungee cords. I'm more aerodynamic than most due to the curves, the contour of the body.
See, that works if you're not sitting next to a Russian guy that didn't bathe or smokes 5 packs of cigarettes a day on top of the not bathing.
What? What?
That's random banana. If you're going to strap yourself to the top of a plane, make sure there's no Russians that don't bathe and smoke next to you. What was your experience with a Russian?
I was flying back on the red eye from PAX a couple years back from PAX Prime in Seattle, and yeah, that was an unpleasant experience. The unbathed smoking.
You're not allowed to smoke on a plane, though.
Yeah, but he had smoked a good 2 packs prior to boarding the plane, so the nicotine in his clothing probably kept him through that 6-hour flight and kept me awake as well with the stench.
You should have puked on him.
Yeah.
I probably could have.
And been like, I'd apologize, but it was your stench and cigarette smoke that made me puke on you anyway, you filthy, filthy Russian man.
No, the correct response probably would have been, I'm sorry. That was a slight upgrade.
If you puke on a man, you apologize and say it's an upgrade?
Sure.
It's not very nice.
Okay, on the gaming news stuff. Have people done anything this week?
Wasn't PAX East this past weekend?
Yes, it was.
Did anything useful happen out of that? I haven't been paying attention at all.
I did not pay attention either.
I've been sleeping, so no attention here.
Awesome!
I paid attention, but choose not to share my knowledge of attention.
Excellent.
Which means I didn't pay attention. Well, I mean, I'm basically I'm looking for a job again, so I'm not going to have money for games. So,
didn't Chris go?
Yes, I haven't spoke to him.
Excellent.
I believe Justin was there and had a panel, or was moderating a panel as well.
Keaton? Justin?
Yes.
No, I really know nothing about the whole kit and caboodle except that it was in Boston.
So our discussion for PAX East was that it happened last weekend. What's next?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it ended like 3 hours ago, and we have zero information to share.
I don't think much was really shown. I mean, unless you're interested in like Deus Ex or some of those kind of games.
Yeah, well, we're in the boring part of the year where nothing good comes out, so I can't imagine there was a whole lot of new stuff anyway.
I'm just trying to glance over things and see if there's any major things I'm seeing, but I mean, what games is anyone looking forward to here? Beyond like Torchlight and Diablo.
What the hell is it, Firefall? Firefall looks like it could be cool.
That's the free-to-play one. That's
still looks like it could be cool, though.
I doubt there was any Diablo news. They usually save that for BlizzCon.
No, the only news I remember the past couple of weeks, which was interesting, was that Torchlight's coming out in July. Yeah, July.
Torchlight 2.
Torchlight 2.
And Rift launched this past week or something like that. I know some people have been playing Rift.
Rift, another MMO.
It doesn't do anything for me, even from looking at... You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of kind of Hellgate London we kind of flopped on, so let's make it a little bit better and see if this works.
Yeah. One of the guys I play World of Warcraft with said he tried it, and he made a rogue, and he said it's World of Warcraft with a different story. He said at least with the rogue, the combat is identical up to and including being a rogue. You have in World of Warcraft, you have what are they called?
Combo points.
Combo point things. Like Rift has identical. There's 5 combo points in when you're playing a rogue in Rift, and he said the quests were like identical. Like he said, except the story's a little different. So he said, I mean, and people I know who play it said it's fun. Apparently, it's a lot like Warhammer, the combat system, and the world boss things, where just some boss will spawn randomly in the world, and if you want to join in the fight, you just say, "I wish to join the fight," and you're instantly queued and added to the raid, and you just go fight this giant boss thing.
Yeah, dude, but that's cool. I mean,
No,
that's...
yeah, it is very cool, but it's, it's not new or anything. I guess Warhammer did the exact same thing. The spoils of war that you get after defeating the boss are completely dependent on how much you've participated. So you can't run up and punch the guy once and then go stand in a corner and wait for it to die and get the same amount of loot that everyone else gets.
That's the way Warhammer was as well.
Right. Apparently, the more you participate in the battle, the more stuff you get at the end.
Well, I shouldn't say that, because what Warhammer did was if you are in the area and do something, then you get to make a roll. And the more you do, the more you get to add to the roll to get fat loots. That was one thing that I was awesome about Warhammer.
So with Warhammer, you don't need like an independent like DKP type of rolling system for loot then.
DKP. Translate, please.
Dragon kill points.
Right. It's an old system, more or less a pen and paper thing. Keep track of who's been in attendance, and so for basically attendance and boss kills, you get so many points. So the more you participate per week or per month, the more points you get to spend and bid on loot.
That sounds overly complicated.
It is if you're doing it manually, but at least in World of Warcraft, there's a bunch of add-ons and stuff that do it all for you. It keeps track of all that stuff for you. A lot of guilds used it in World of Warcraft. So you say you raid 3 times a week for a year, and you have some person who's there for every raid. Each boss, and it's completely up to you. Say you just determine that each boss gives you 10 points every time you down a boss, and if you're in attendance, you get 10 points, and if you're not in attendance, you don't get any points. And then you kill a boss, and you get the loot, and say there's 4 things that you can distribute. Each one of those things that you can bid on with the points that you have, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You can do it auction style, where you say, I'm going to bid 500 of my points towards that piece of loot. Or the way we used to do it back in Wrath of the Lich King was you just bid, say, I want that loot, and whoever had the most points got that loot. And then whatever your guild determined loot costs, so if it was a sword, say swords cost 200 points, you were deducted 200 points from your pool of points. And it was just a way to distribute loot without having to rely on random rolls, and it rewarded you for attendance.
If it was automated, all right, that's okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think it was from EverQuest or something is where it kind of originated, and why it was called Dragon Kill Points, because every dragon you killed earned points or something like that. At least in World of Warcraft, with Blizzard supporting the add-on community as it did, there were a bunch of add-ons that you could download which kept track of it automatically for you. So yeah, the only manual stuff you had to do was upload, so it kept track of it while you were playing World of Warcraft. When you were done for the night, it saved it to like a file. You uploaded the file to your website, and it kind of updated the points for everybody. And then before you started a raid, you download the newest roster points and everything. And so when you started, everybody was up to date. So that was the only manual thing you had to do, was kind of create a file and upload it, and then before you started, re-download the file. But yeah, it was pretty much automated.
All right, that ain't bad if it's automated.
Yeah. So it sounds like Rift, though, it's kind of built into the game, or Warhammer. You contribute to killing something, and the more you contribute, the more chances you get to...
You get a bigger bonus to the roll, yes. So you're pretty much, everybody is getting something. It's just how much are you going to get.
Which is cool. And World of Warcraft has tried that with like world bosses. There's things out in the world that are, just there that you can kill. Unfortunately, though, you still need to be a member of a group in order to share in the stuff. But usually world bosses rarely, if ever, have anything to drop. They don't really drop raid level gear or anything. The few world bosses that do exist.
Isn't that the big dragon in wherever the hell the Halloween town is? I don't remember the name of it. Duskville? I don't remember the name of it. We'll say Duskville, but I know that's not it.
Darkshire.
That's, I think, the name of it.
There's a dragon in Darkshire.
Yeah, there used to be 4 world boss spawn locations.
It was a giant dragon by some big portal shrine.
Right. And it used to spawn in one of 4 random locations. So there was one in Darkshire, one in Ashara, and 2 other ones that I can't recall. And one of 4 bosses would come out, or world boss dragons would come out of the portal and have...
And pinch you!
Random... I think there were like 25 to 40 man raids or something like that to take them down.
Yeah, but again, with that, you can't just, oh, hey, look, there's a bunch of people killing that dragon. I'm going to join in. You'd have to ask one of the people fighting or about to fight if you could join them.
Yes, you need an invite.
Right. So it wasn't instanced, but you still needed to be a member of the group in order to share in whatever stuff you got. All right, well, anyway.
I've just been glancing at PAX stuff. Yeah, there really wasn't anything announced. People were just showing off games, pretty much. You know, Crisis 2, new trailer for Old Republic from BioWare, Star Wars.
When the hell's that thing ever coming out?
I don't know. I think it's next year, or is it later this year?
I thought it was next year.
And preview of Dungeon Siege 3. And, yeah. Not really much. Just lots of people just playing games.
That's, and I'll be honest, that's part of why I don't understand okay, yeah, it's PAX, but they're not showing anything, so...
Well, not announcing anything.
Yeah, so what's really the draw? Or am I just missing something?
No, I think it's just the experience of having 10,000 geeks all in the same area, which honestly isn't that much of an incentive to go to.
Well, they were supposed to move it from the one convention center to the bigger one, so I wonder how that worked out for them.
You went to PAX East 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
I mean, even when we went to PAX West and we saw everything, I don't see why it needs to be 3. Like, it really doesn't need to be 3 days. Because you can kind of see everything that you would see. I mean, really, you could do it all in a day if you want to be technical, but...
It's for the experience. For the experience of hanging out with your playing buddies.
Right on. I mean, that's cool. It's just...
And stand in line for 2 hours, try some game that's coming out. And
exactly. I mean, it was fun because we were all together and it was kind of cool to meet people. And I had more fun afterwards, like going out at night in the evenings than... Yeah. The convention itself. The convention itself was...
It was almost secondary.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, hey, I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, so that's your news. Or any other news people would like to talk about?
I was browsing through Kotaku and found a couple things that seemed kind of interesting. Even though there is the NFL lockout that is most likely already decided as of Friday.
Well, they did decertify.
They did decertify. So, good chance there's going to be a lockout, but yet it looks like this isn't going to impact Madden 2012 from coming out.
Of course not. That teat's still spitting precious milk. They're going to work that bad boy till it's spitting dust, man. That's just the way it is. Exactly. When it goes, then they're like, all right, now cut it, peel it, and we'll make a lampshade out of it so we could sell that at least.
Oh, okay, so for the non-sports following people here, there's going to be no football starting up in...
Usually football preseason starts in August, and the beginning of the actual football season starts in September. So they're saying that this disagreement over the money that the owners are making and not sharing with the players is a big deal. So with that, they've what Keith mentioned is decertified. So they kind of broke free of their collective bargaining agreement.
From their tyrannical grasp.
So there's at this point they can't the players can't talk to the teams can't talk to the players, they can't practice like formal organized practices and stuff like that, but yet they can still conduct the NFL draft of the college players. That's about all they can do.
It takes a lot of balls to make double-digit millions of dollars and then complain that somebody isn't sharing more money with you.
That's, and that's the thing, is this is going to hurt football. Like the real sport, not necessarily the game. Because how do you sympathize with someone when, for example, my contract's up, I'm going to be looking for a job, and you're bitching about, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not making enough millions. I need more millions than the millions I'm making. I simply can't do this. I would love to play football for a living. It's hard work, don't get me wrong, but, dude, that's better than sitting in a cube all day. Football is fun. Practice sucks, but the games are fun.
I agree with you, Keith, but knowing some firsthand knowledge, the NFL does only provide 5 years worth of medical coverage after their career ends.
Who cares?
For someone that makes the league minimum of, say, $200,000 or whatever it is.
All right, stop. Okay, so just $200,000. The average player plays 3 years,
correct?
Right? 3.5 years. That's $700,000 league minimum. You're telling me that you aren't intelligent enough to manage that? I mean, the rest of America seems to be able to manage on much, much less than $700,000 in 3 years.
I'm not arguing that.
So, I mean, it's just like, don't tell me that the health costs go up so much. So put some money aside and do that. And no one's saying that once football's over, you're just sitting on your ass for the rest of your life.
Right. I agree.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, the excuses are very hard pills to swallow because, yeah, dude, even if you're making league minimum and you play the average, that's still $700,000 that you're bringing, that you're banking. Right on. My heart is bleeding for you. And you know what? I do have those extra injuries from football, and I'm not making $700,000 in 3 years to help put money aside to pay for things. I'm not happy with football right now. But anyway.
Yeah. What other story you got there, Phil?
They also ran a story about the number of achievements unlocked on Xbox Live since 2005. Let's make a little game of this. What do you think the average gamer score is amongst all the people that play?
9.
The average? I would say the average gamer score is 10,000.
Okay. Ivan?
I think it's much lower than that. I'd say 3,000.
Oh, you must be right. I heard the ding. You get to spin the bonus wheel.
Chad?
Probably around 5,000. No. Yeah, 5,000.
$1. 1 point.
Okay. Keith was actually the closest at 11,000.
Yeah, that's right. That makes sense to me. Well, dude, they give those things away, man.
I guess because there's people out there with over 100,000.
Microsoft reports that there's about 6.3 billion achievements unlocked for 360 games. Each achievement's usually, 10 to 20 points?
Yeah, depending. And then, if you beat a game, it's like, here's 50 points, that kind of thing. But
well, each game has at least 1,000. That was what they determined. They said if you're going to make an Xbox 360 retail disc game, you are required by Xbox law to have no less than 1,000 points.
And I think the live games have 200?
Something like that, yeah. So multiply however many Xbox disc games there are by 1,000, and then Xbox Live games by 200. There's a crap ton of possible achievement points.
They're saying Microsoft calculated that there was 176.8 billion gamer points achieved.
That's a lot of gamer points.
And they're saying over 20 million people have logged into Xbox Live over that time.
And recently, a bunch of people were reporting that the Microsoft Xbox 360 Kinect is won a Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest selling consumer electronics device ever in 60 days of sales, I think.
I'm surprised that would beat out even the Nintendo Wii Or does that not even count?
Well, in 60 days. There's lots of stuff that have sold a lot more.
I mean, you also got to realize if you were getting a Nintendo, you were buying a new Nintendo. Whereas if you're getting Kinect, the Xbox 360 has been out for how long now? And if you're getting a Kinect, it's really just a peripheral for it.
That's true.
And that's in the first 60 days of sale. So if you guys remember, it was freaking impossible to even find a Wii when they first launched. So
That's true. There were only a few 100,000 available.
So in the first 60 days of sale of a electronic device, the Kinect has a world record. And it's only like 5 or 6 million, which is not a lot of units in comparison to like an iPhone or something that's got tens of millions or something like that. But we're talking strictly the first 60 days of sales.
Tens of millions of units! It's just fun to say that. There's really no reason to.
I'll tell you what, we were in Best Buy yesterday picking up a couple things, and we kind of walked by the Xbox section rather quickly yesterday, and as we walked by, Jill noticed that there was a Kinect set up, and we were literally about 20 or 30 feet away from this thing, and the Kinect was on top of a TV, and it had like a screen that was showing how it worked, and it, you know, took the silhouette and showed the silhouette of the person and put the animated stick figures to pinpoint stuff. And I think I was standing further away from Jill, and both of us were showing up on the screen, so I was kind of impressed with the accuracy and the distance that it could detect that.
It works. I mean, we got one here, and aside from the fact that my fat ass can't jump with it, it works. I mean, the people below us would love that. Just love that.
Yeah, that's why I never got Rock Band. I was always afraid the banging of the drum pedal on Rock Band would cause the lady downstairs to have a conniption.
See, I was hoping you would have said aneurysm. Aneurysm sounds more...
Okay, so anything else? Any Blood Bowl updates, Keith?
Not really, because we played the game today, so I haven't had time. I'll do that and get it all together, but no, not at the present moment because we played today.
Now you're writing those yourself. People are wondering.
Why?
They were wondering if what you were getting from the game, if it actually told you anything. You're just writing it all yourself, right?
I'm just writing what happened in the game.
With your own embellishments in terms of... Keith
is freeform writing these things. He is just that good.
I pull up the replay of the game, and I watch my I only do it for my game, like the detail one. And I just watch the replay of my game, and then just jot down notes of, like, what player did what to whom kind of a thing. And then just, I write a story.
How do you toggle the game log in there? Because all I usually see is just the in-game chatting between the players.
Down right above where there's the in-game chat, there's like a piece of paper, a little icon of a piece of paper.
Okay.
That shows you all the dice rolls and who's rolling what, that kind of thing.
I'll have to pay attention to that next time.
But no, it's been fun, and it's actually good because everyone's kind of into it. Even the people that are losing. That's the one thing with this game is even if you're losing, you can still have a lot of fun with the game. Because the simple fact that you can build a team to not even really try to score. That's what I initially did with my Chaos teams. My Chaos teams were never really designed to score the ball. I just built them solely to hurt, maim, and kill everyone I could possibly do that to. But, this time around, well, my guys have been getting... I didn't get any guys hurt this time around, which was a added bonus. But of late... this round of Chaos, I've lost a guy each turn, each round of the game, which is hard to really do anything with your team if you have no players on your team. But it's a good time though. Everyone's enjoying it. The people that are now kind of learning what's going down will probably end up, I'm assuming, at some point starting over, so that people that didn't know what they were doing or didn't build the team the way they kind of wanted to build the team can kind of have a shot to try again.
Okay. Unless anybody has anything else, I think we can call it a night there. Anybody want to say
Nope.
anything? Okay.
Happy 25th birthday to Zelda.
She's a whore.
She's a tease, is what she is. Oh my God, save me! Save me!
I mean, I remember that cartoon. Link would go fight all these things and go into dungeons and kill everything. Well, he didn't really kill anything because it was the cartoon. But he would do all this crap, and she wouldn't even give him a kiss.
And the bitch wouldn't put out.
Not even put out. She wouldn't even give the dude a kiss.
I know, right?
I'd been like, you bitch, die. I'm not saving you. You can die. That's okay. Or I'd like, before I released you from your shackles, here's a signed contract that you're going to say you're going to the skin off my here for payment for this rescue.
Go hang out with that whore Princess Peach. That bitch is always a teasing Mario, too.
Well, she was even worse, because every time Mario tried to rescue her, it was just some little mushroom going, oh, she's not here. She's in another castle. Well, which one is she in? And I'll just go to that one and save her instead of going through 9 of these.
Okay. Anyways, that was Video Game Show episode 234. Any final words?
Thoughts and prayers to the people in Japan.